Well, welcome back to RAC Arena. It is Sunday netball at its best as the West Coast Fever host the Giants netball. And there's young Isla Swami enjoying a birthday party and plenty of Green Army fans in the house. They are hoping to break last week's record. Last week, 10,700. And they are certainly hoping to crack the 11,000. And we'll bring you that number a little bit later on in the game. A terrific opening it's been, and these two sides, as we mentioned, setting themselves up for a rather big score, you get the feeling. The West Coast Fever last week got across the line against the Lightning by 4, and the Giants fell short of their crosstown rivals in the New South Wales Swifts. So the lights go down. Stacey Francis-Bayman joining me in commentary. Dylan McPherson will pick up some of the expert comments on the sideline. In the opener, Dylan made comment about this feeling a bit more like a finals experience. You're sitting here now, the lights are down, the crowd is huge. It feels like finals already.
It absolutely does. The atmosphere is electric, and I think Dylan nailed it on the head. Giants are obviously out here to disrupt things, but the West Coast Fever have a point to prove. They will want to win today, and the opportunity to move up the ladder and put themselves in a better spot for finals is there for the taking.
Verity Simmons, MVP for the Fever last week against the Lightning. The Woolworths team card, Stacey Francis-Bayman, just talk us through them, the starting 7.
Yeah, West Coast Fever sticking with their business as usual. No need to change what has been a really solid starting 7 for them throughout the season so far. We've got Courtney Bruce at the back there, supported by Sunday Ariang in the circle, Jess and Bezzy in the middle, Alice, who we spoke about in the pre-game as being critical to today's results, and that fantastic shooting partnership in the circle.
So the Giants, there's their lineup. Their captain, Jo Harton, getting the nod. The big question, folks, how long does she remain on the court? And there's the lady of the moment, Jamie Lee Price, in game 150. National League games split up between Suncorp Super Netball and the former National League. So there goes the countdown. The ball handed over to Price for the Giants. They are in the orange strip heading to your right of screen. Round 13 begins here at RAC Arena with the Giants unable to play finals, but wanting to control where the positions land come finals for the top 4. Harton just sitting in the circle, getting the attention. Jess Anstis attacking early, as is Sunday Ariang. And the Fever, well, you heard Courtney Bruce say they're here to attack. It's a reasonable start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when Fever defensively are at their best, they are out there hunting and setting their intent from the first second of the game.
So they eventually find path to the captain in Jo Harton, and the Giants get their first one here in Perth. Jo Harton, retired from international netball. We will not see her at the World Cup. Sad, I say. So enjoy her here on court today. Fowler at the other end, and named in the Jamaican side throughout the week. Kind of expected it.
I was going to say I would have bet some money on that. Oh! Courtney Bruce out hunting, but had the great footwork to get backing up and cause that tip for the ball to go out the back line.
Sophie Dwyer to set the throw in. Maddie Hay, some terrificness and net points coming her way last week against the Swifts. Dwyer from range, confidence. Harton, a little tip, but it lands in the hands of the Fever. They go long quickly. Anstis, what a take. My goodness, she was put on full stretch with that one. And the umpire just wanting to set the penalty back. Price will stand out of play. Simmons steadies to Fowler in front. And the Fever breaks. And this is the ball.
I was hoping that we would get to see this on the Harvey Norman replay. The speed of transition play there from the West Coast Fever was ferocious. I'm not sure many coaches would advise that that's the outlet ball you want to throw, but it worked for them and it caught Giants on the back foot.
Terrific camera work from our team here at Fox Netball. And a good start by the West Coast Fever, breaking the Giants centre pass, take a 2-goal lead early. Nicole Brandley. Does she go on and play next year? pocket to Price. Harton out the top. So just trying to work their way through. Ariang thought about it. And then the contact call on the baseline. It'll be against Bruce.
Obstruction.
So very early stage, you can see real patience in the way the Giants are attacking.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a really interesting battle as the game goes on, as Parmenter comes through on that first phase centre pass. But the Fever have a really ferocious way of attacking the game defensively. If they can do that but combat the patience of the Giants consistently, it's going to be a really interesting contest.
So Lauren Moore, big task today against Fowler. Got a nod last time they played, and I thought she did a reasonable job given the height difference. At the other end, Harton, a quick one. And you can continue to keep the camera on Bruce and Harton. That battle will go on all day as long as Harton's on the court. Wayward ball, it's picked up though by Simmons. She's quick to move. And there's a glimpse of what I just spoke about. Moore's elevation, unbelievably impressive.
Yeah, coming off second best that time, but the feed was pinpoint. Excellent defensive impact by Lauren Moore there, and she'll continue to have confidence as Jamie Lee Price is bringing that confidence from the warm-up into that feed.
Great vision through court, though. The Fever defence were in and having a look, so some good game tactics being played out down the defence end for the Fever.
Unfortunate there, that feed from Sasha Glasgow going over the back, but Lauren Moore had really great footwork. She did roll around the back of Janelle, which didn't even give her that opportunity to rectify that poor feed.
Giants very good at converting off turnover ball, and that's how good they are at it. Jamie Lee Price, instrumental in that passage of play. It needed the finish from the captain.
Yeah, disappointing in that moment. Giants were putting on a clinic on attacking through court, but unfortunately weren't able to punish under the post. Very uncharacteristic, actually.
Yeah, the Fever now with the opportunity to take it just that one step further with a conversion. And through court, circle edge, a sure thing once it hits Fowler. Correct.
I held my breath on her behalf then. The commentator's curse is real.
Surely not that real. 6-4 the score. 5 minutes in the first quarter. RAC Arena hosting the last home game for the West Coast Fever of the regular season. The Giants haven't had a lot of luck here at RAC Arena, but I tell you what, their luck hasn't been far off victories. They've been close and within range always when it comes against the West Coast Fever.
Exactly right, and lots of teams don't enjoy making the trip over to the West, but Giants certainly do. Judy Fitzgerald has family here. The Giants girls were at the beach this morning, even though I don't think even the Perth locals were there. The weather's not been that great.
At the beach, it's freezing outside. So Dan Ryan, we spoke with him in the opener, and it was all about attacking the opportunity against the Giants today. Possibly looking at a second position on the ladder with a win. A little bit of slippery hands from Dwyer. Not necessarily bringing a smile to the face of their coach.
No, and interestingly, that came off of Fever's defensive decision to throw a box out there. So no physical pressure on Dwyer in that moment, but unfortunately the ball slipped through her hands.
Great feed from Teague Nield off the circle edge. Confidence into Fowler, and the finish takes the Fever to a 3-goal lead. Let's get straight down to Dylan McPherson. Dylan, your eyes have been on the defence end for the Fever. They're having a crack.
Yeah, they are having a crack, and like Stacey said, I think what's been really good for them is they're sitting off the body, and it's really confusing the space for the Giants of where they want to put the ball. Anything getting lifted into this Giant circle is getting a tip or a touch on it, and I think that as Courtney Bruce delivers for me, thank you, Courtney, I'll pay you for that later. They're just all over it down here, and Amy Parmenter, I'll just keep going, Sue, shall I?
You may as well. The intercepts are happening directly in front of you. Dylan, you spoke about Amy Parmenter. You said she needs a big game today. The Diamond selectors, the last chance to pick her. That was a good moment.
That was a good moment, and I think that what's really interesting about that Diamond selection is we know that when we go to World Cup, the Diamonds need a win ball outside of the circle before it gets into the likes of Janelle Fowler, Eleanor Cardwell, and Amy Parmenter proving she can win it in the centre third.
So the captain, Courtney Bruce, having a presence early for the West Coast Fever. Their scoreline now leading by 4. Anstis, contact. Lovely swing from Hart and the look away.
Contact, all defense.
Then the shooter-to-shooter connection from Dwyer to Harton. So just patiently chipping away the Giants, working their way through the Fever defence. Oh, gee. That was terrific defensive work, confusing the space. Stacey Francis-Bayman of Fowler on the Harvey Norman replay.
Yeah, beautiful footage there from the Harvey Norman replay. We see Moore getting up and behind Janelle Fowler, which doesn't give her the room to kind of go back and up and take ball into that space, and then also Branley on the front contesting that ball too.
Just a perfect glimpse of Moore's vertical jump. So height not the problem at the moment. Armenta having to work the ball backwards. Patience to find a great drive from Price coming through. So good defence from the Fever, putting the Giants under pressure. Does the opportunity exist? Obstruction, so the pressure slightly releases. Dwyer, Price, they'll chip here surely to circle edge the smart way. Just looking like are they being overly patient, or is it the Fever defence?
I think it's a really difficult one with the Giants. They are known for holding on to ball and to work patiently towards the shot. As we see here, though, that is demonstrated in their time to goal. Giants 39 seconds, and defensively as a team against them, it can be hard to decide whether actually it's just their state of play or if you are doing a good job defensively. And at the minute, I'm going to sit on the fence and say it's both.
A 15-second difference in the way these sides are scoring. That means the Fever defence are having to defend for 15 seconds longer. It's an intriguing tactic if that in fact is the case. As Dwyer goes out of court, Bruce is there to hunt the crumbs down. There's the time her goal. Let's keep our eyes on that as this game unfolds. Out to 40 now for the Giants. Amazing. So 11-8 the scoreline. The Fever held a lead at 4 at one point. It's 3 at the moment. We are 25 seconds out from our big Super Shot Fest. That's all I'm going to call it. Let's take a tactical timeout. HCF 1 with the Giants coach, Julie Fitzgerald.
Right? Don't fit around with that ball. Move forward. When we're coming through that zone, we pass and cut, or we find a body and we work on that body. Don't stay isolated. Don't get the ball and then pass and then worry about what's next. Pass and cut, take it on strong. Don't play all your game on the sidelines. Let's get ourselves off the sideline a little bit. Basics well, all right? Basics well.
As we come through the through court, we are allowed to let that ball go in the first second. As we get tighter, that's when we start faking the ball to get them off the body. Don't play for the advantage because there is none. So if we get knocked, we're going to have to ground 2 feet or really make a meal of it to get the ball. Yeah?
All right, let's lift just a little bit, okay?
Let's go, girls. We know this when Sunday's over the line, you come back, not on the sideline, but come back in the middle, so we exploit that.
And I did like your patience getting through that zone, but I reckon we can do it better, all right?
Here we go. Giants on 2, 1, 2, 3.
I feel like that HCF tactical timeout addressed the 40-second scenario that we were just referring to.
Exactly right. I think Julie Fitzgerald is happy for them to be a little bit more patient once they're in that attacking third, but wants them to put a bit of a shift on in the centre third and just get that ball through.
All right, well, let's see if that changes at all as Fowler's put under pressure for the third time in the first 10 minutes. A turnover ball. And I've just cast my eyes to Fowler at the end of the court. The face wasn't overly thrilled. Oh, gee, the Falcon to Dwyer. Love a Falcon, folks. Not sure that Sophie Dwyer would. Let's see if it affects the shot. Not at all. She's a professional.
As we see here, that pass back into court from Janelle Fowler just went missing. And also, back-to-back with the Harvey Norman replays there, that Falcon from Jamie Lee Price to her own teammate.
No player loves a Falcon. Surely you rib your player after that.
No, and it's actually a bit of a trademark of JLP. I wondered whether we were going to see that early 2-point shot threat there by Dwyer, but makes that smart offload to Harton under the post.
So power 5 time, won the difference. You know both sides are great long-range shooters. Fowler at range, steps in, knows she can over the height of Moore and takes the one. Good depth off second phase and a quick release, which was what Harton was asking for, poorly executed.
Yeah, agree. I think the timing and the mix-up in terms of her availability was great. As we see another incredible passage of through court there by Courtney Bruce. Just really wants to get it out and feed them on the attack.
Just a net point match leaders to your bottom right of screen as the Fever attack here through court and take the single. So keeping the scoreboard pressure ticking over. Off the back to Ariang. Glasgow, look at the 2 on Fowler at the moment. Well, to no avail though. Branley comes out to find Glasgow. That's the threat of Glasgow, opens Fowler up.
Absolutely, it's going to be a continual battle to make that decision. Do you deal with the Jamaican threat under the post or the Rose in the 2-point shooting shot?
The Rose.
I quite like that.
Yeah, nice. Hey, looks to backspace. They have to swing to find Price and they go again. So having to go parallel by choice is the question. Harton for the first super shot of the game. Jo Harton does what she does very well. Confidence, silence the crowd, and back to within 2.
And that is the best feeling when you're playing away from home. Silence often means that you're doing a really good job.
Glasgow. The crowd will enjoy Sasha Glasgow doing just that as well. So super shots at each end of the court. Let's get down to Dylan McPherson. Fever huddle, obviously would be confident at this stage.
Yeah, confident at this stage, but I'd say a little bit wary, the Fever. Their big focus from Dan Reimers on the attack. They are incredibly conscious of Lauren Moore and what she's doing. And fascinatingly for me, Lauren Moore, her stats, 1 penalty, but I feel like she's been in this game moving her feet, confusing where the feed is to go. And she's in every contest just like that one. So interesting from Fever in the huddle.
Oh, what a passage of play that was from the West Coast Fever. The rebound into the, I guess, the theatrics of the ball work through court. And then Simmons connecting with her teammate in Fowler. And now it's Teague Neal. So they have put their foot down, Stacey Francis-Bowman in this power 5 and stretching the lead out now by 6. There's your last 10. A few moments of orange and then the rest is Courtney Bruce. My goodness, Bruce having a blinding first 15.
Really great awareness there. Jo Harton was off balance, but I got a feeling that Giants were going to want to have to play for a 2-point shot there, so staying in play, not paying too much attention to whether she was going to go to post or not.
The Giants needing to find some ball against the Fever here. You know they can score the super shots, but there's a moment from Hay. The chase down, though, can't get there. But they do put the Fever right back in their attacking end.
They do, and as we just saw on screen, that time to goal, Fever just getting faster, Giants potentially...
Oh, goodness gracious, Amy Parmenter reaching for the skyline. Well, that is what the Giants need. I'll tell you what, is that what the Diamonds need? That was impressive stuff. Parmenter hunting ball, and now the reward needed. Hay to Dwyer. Sophie Dwyer lines up for her first super shot and rewards Parmenter off this moment.
Beautiful work there. Fantastic footage from the Harvey Norman replay, as I don't even know where Parmenter came from.
The Giants for their second in a row, and to bring the scoreline back again, well, there you go, attacking the Suncorp super shot the way the Giants can. 3 the difference, 2 seconds on the clock. Fowler off balance. Not to be. Well, what an intriguing opening quarter it's been. The internationals certainly standing up on court, or maybe future internationals. 19-16 the scoreline. And folks, this month, netball's biggest tournament is coming to Fox Sports, and our Diamonds have unfinished business. They're out to dethrone arch rivals New Zealand and win back the World Cup. And Fox Netball is the only place to catch every game live.
I think it's really important in attack that you and April stay apart, that you can split them up as much as they're starting. You can merge on a one person in the centre pass. So we want to
Well, Origin Energy quarter-time huddle sees Julie Fitzgerald. Certainly the energy up stays off the back of the way they finished that quarter, and we know that's what they do. Of course, they weren't winning the one-point game, but they came home strong in that super shock period.
Absolutely. Giants have the game plan, but also the talent to neutralise West Coast Fever's two-point shot. Their ability to really just take the wind out of Fever's sails there at the end of that quarter. Impressive.
19-16, the scoreline. Fever by 3. Swap ends. And Joe Harton still on the court, so played 30 minutes last week. How long does she last today? Nice little battle alarm there with Courtney Bruce. Have a look at the two of them. They don't get to play on the international court against each other anymore, so they just make the most of it here in Suncorp Super Netball.
Absolutely right. Double up. There is no love lost there, but an awful amount of respect between these two opponents.
Take this moment to get down to Dylan McPherson.
Yeah, interesting in the Fever huddle there. There's a lot of talk about the first phase on the centre pass for Verity Simmons and Jess Anstis. They want Giants to either be going lateral or backward on second phase so that Courtney Bruce and Sunday Ariang have the ability to sit in a split circle, in a box, in a diamond-like defence so they can come out and have a fly as they cause another error there sitting off the body. So big focus for the Fever was about that very first moment. As soon as that centre pass is taken, they want pressure immediately.
Well, Courtney Bruce, as we mentioned, probably the star of the first quarter, sitting at 41 distant net points up until that moment. Annie Hay also been impressive, and Jamie Lee Price, the mid-court for the Giants. Fowler, the big step in. West Coast Fever doing a good job, Stace, of their long court conversion.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, that was an area for development at the start of the season. They looked a little bit clunky, transitioning through court off of all of their games, but they are flying in that today. And I think that's a combined effort of Ariang and Anstis bringing the ball through court.
Well, Giants here clogging the middle. Eventually, though, Alice Teague-Neal finds the needle. So they get their way through. Lauren Moore, though. Contact on Branley as Glasgow was taking the front cut. So the West Coast Fever converting another one. Started the first quarter well, and they've done that again here. Breaking the Giants centre pass. Oh, and Anstis. Courage to go forward and enough to spoil it. Julie Fitzgerald just looked frustrated, didn't she?
Oh, she did look frustrated, but I imagine that would be equally neutralised by that moment and her team being back on attack.
Surely that would just balance the frustration. The angry look on the face turns just to a normal one.
That emotional roller coaster of being a coach, hey?
Oh, dear me.
As we see here, Jess Anstis coming through off of that first phase, centre pass defence in the Harvey Norman replay. Really great work from her. They jumped the wall, which actually put her in a better position to contest the ball from a back-running defender.
So Janelle Fowler last week notching the milestone of 5,000 goals, the league record Suncorp Super Netball. And again, she could hit another one here today in terms of 700 goals. She'll need 52 to get there. Harton balances. Oh, Parmenter covering Alice Teague-Neal's second phase. They have to go into the pocket, though, to find her.
Really great battle going on between the two of them there, but pinpoint pass that Alice was able to pull in.
Hay out, up high, goes in for the short ball, but Price just offering the depth time and time again here. So the contact will be the call. No, yep, contact on Ariang. Opening the width, and then just that beautiful pop pass into Harton. She's become, oh gee, needs the finish. Her game has changed dramatically over the years, becoming more like she's a moving shooter, but she can still be that really strong target in under the post.
Yeah, she's very good at putting on a really strong hold and dealing with that physicality, as we see Lauren Moore with the beautiful front position there.
You can't, Lauren Moore is having a field day here because no one should have 4 moments on Fowler in the first quarter and a bit, and that's disappointing. So have a look at Lauren Moore here. Look at the elevation, front position. Harvey Norman replay picking it up. A shame the Giants couldn't reward that moment, Stace.
Yeah, absolutely. Lauren Moore is giving us textbook defence here for just for everything really, for life. Life lessons from Lauren Moore is what we're learning right now. But defensively, she's putting on a masterclass as to how you play against an attacker who is bigger than you. She's using her footwork, she's confusing the space for the feeders outside of the circle, and she's also able to get up there in the contest and cause an error.
Well, this needs a conversion for Lauren Moore. For me, between her and Bruce, the standouts on the court, the two goalkeepers, and Dwyer just that. Lauren Moore having an enormous impact on Janelle Fowler. And the feed going in has been a little lacklustre for the Fever. Giants quick to get moving, offload, shooter to shooter. A little run here for the visitors and bringing the scoreline back to 2. Look at that, the last 3. Glasgow under pressure. It's tripped by Parmenter on the way up.
Whole time.
And then they say it's okay to each other. Would you have done that?
I'd like to think I'd be a big person in that moment, but I think the answer's probably no. My true feelings would have shown on my face.
Well, it wasn't Parmenter tripping, it was the foot of Sasha Glasgow getting caught on the arm of Amy Parmenter. So the court will need to be wiped. I want to keep talking here about, in the background of that vision there, that shot, Lauren Moore. Now have a look at the height difference. You can see in the back, Fowler. But Lauren Moore's vertical jump, one of the best in the league, is what is keeping her in business here. And the West Coast Fever feeders have been in all sorts trying to find the superstar in goal shooter.
Beautiful response there, though, by Sasha Glasgow to go to post in that moment.
Price. And into the pocket, so good width of the court used by the Giants. The fake from Hay, and it goes straight in to Harton.
And like you said, Sue, that change-up of Joe's game here in this moment, and they're having a chat, and I don't believe it's a friendly one. I could be wrong, though. I can't read lips. But a bit of a mix-up of Joe's game there. She's playing a static hold, which is actually catching Bruce, whereas previously she was moving around a little bit, and I feel like Bruce was getting the better of her. But we're going to keep our eye on that.
Oh, the gameplay from two of the greats, Harton and Bruce. Oh, gee. Contact, it'll be on Bruce. Hits the deck. Price, a smile on the face. So again, the word that you love, willing. This is now starting to get a little willing, and willing enough that the ball falls to the hand of the captain for the Fever. So a little win for the team in green. If they can convert at the other end, Bruce surely puts a smile on her face. Fowler has to step in again. Have a look at this moment. Not a lot in it.
Not at all. They can't see each other. Courtney Bruce had eyes for the ball, but unfortunately, second best in that moment. As we see Lauren Moore continuing to hustle and just be rewarded with that error. We're not seeing it translate onto the Nissan net points, but the work that Lauren Moore is doing is almost invaluable.
Harton drives out to the middle with confidence. Surely this goes in. She has to fake it at 5 times. And then eventually it drops. That is the lady. Have a look at her. She's talking to her teammates. Very rare do you see expression on the face of Janelle Fowler, and that is full of frustration.
Absolutely right, but leadership from her in that moment to demand more from her team.
Well, the Giants here are absolutely up and about, and it's all thanks to the work of their goalkeeper in Lauren Moore. Didn't see a lot of court time early, but she's up and doing the job for Julie Fitzgerald. The HCF tactical timeout obviously being called by the Fever. The frustration from Dan Ryan, does it come out in this huddle?
Like, we've got to cut that. It's not okay, all right? So let's do the extra pass onto circle edge, use our resets to reopen our patterns, and just be willing to work and work and work, all right? Then our options can open, all right? Just lock into that a bit more smarter, all right? Making sure now when we jump into Super Shot period, let's go for it. So get into your ranges, give Sasha an extra second to get free, all right? Scoreboard pressure, our number 1 pick. All right, let's go, guys. Well done. Let's go.
All that's sitting in is a bit of structure, so all you can do is run up,
expected Dan Ryan just saying not good enough, and that would be to his mid-court around the feed to Fowler. They led by 3 at quarter time, the West Coast Fever. The Giants holding a 1-goal lead in this quarter at 9-8. They come out of this huddle surely full of confidence.
Absolutely, the Giants are doing a fantastic job, but Dan Ryan was incredibly clear to Fever as to what he expected of them in this moment. Feeding the 2-on-1 to Janelle isn't working. They need more work rate and the ability to have availability and options to give the ball.
Well, I want to get down to Dylan McPherson. Surely the Giants must have been up and about. They're causing some real trouble for the Fever attack, Dylan.
More from Lauren Moore is the message from Julie Fitzgerald, having an outstanding quarter. Interestingly, really highlighting that Giants attack line. They're really conscious that Fever are coming around the body and they're trying to win ball. They want real execution of skill. Julie Fitzgerald wants them to rip the ball in, and she said to Sophie Dwyer to attack this super shot period. So expect to see some bombs as Verity Simmons gets a great tip on Jamie Lee Price.
Terrific hands from Simmons, and then a throwaway ball. So wasted for the West Coast Fever, and another opportunity for the Giants to gain confidence. Harton top, out to Dwyer. Price, quick hands. And Dwyer steadies, settles, and finishes.
Beautiful work there on the hands over by Verity. It is a bit of a textbook from her.
Teague Neal, 1 foot. So time per goal. Fever was sitting at about 23 out to 26, and the Giants have just started to get a bit of rhythm and momentum. Now at 31, they were at 42nd. That's confidence though, isn't it?
It is. It's a big difference, and I think it's showing that Giants are finding a more direct route to goal.
Ability to let the ball go. So there's a moment there. Price, Hay, patient. Dwyer on the baseline. The Giants ticking along beautifully. Fever, they hold the lead by 2, but it's been far from convincing. Fowler out in reasonably unfamiliar territory and forced back to the line. Simmons the cut.
Centre obstruction.
And then the quick release. So exactly what Ryan, the coach from the Fever, was asking. Trying to work a little closer to the circle edge to feed the target. Power 5 in play. Hart rolls, Bruce covers, but Dwyer on the front cut. Lines up for number 3.
Oh, beautiful work there. Harton able to keep the ball in, but supported by JLP on the edge of the circle. Harton looking to get that too.
Oh, gee, look, confidence. You know where Joe Harton's up when the hand remains in the air after the shot.
As you see here on that Harvey Norman replay, keeping the ball in, backed up ably by her teammate. Just playing 1-2s between the two of them there.
Super shots just 1 from 2 for the Fever and 4 from 6 in true Giants fashion. 4 minutes to play out in this first half. Parmena trying to sneak through. The contact will be the call. Oh, gee, Sasha Glasgow. Contact with Branley. Thought the ankle looked like it rolled, but both get up to their feet quickly. Harvey Norman replay will show us the moment. That's a better angle. So Branley just in that front position. Glasgow coming through.
Certainly not looking too comfortable, but she'll be happy to be taking a penalty in that super shot zone.
Well, it's a big long-range super shot, and that probably just sends a little message to her direct opponent. Don't get me angry. Don't send me to the ground. Sasha Glasgow, there's her 2 super shots. Oh, gee, a wind-up ball from Branley, and it's straight to the hands of Sunday Ariang. An unnecessary long ball. And the West Coast Fever now into attack. They've been delayed, though, by the Giants. Having to use Anstis. Confusion, eventually. Well, that has to be one of the better passes of the game, taking Lauren Moore defensively out of it by finding the space for Janelle Fowler. The goals from game sitting 6-4 for the Fever, 33-29. 4 goals the difference, 3 on the clock. HCF tactical timeout called by the Giants.
Every simple ball counts. Give us a lead to the ball all the time. If it's not there, we will reset and go again. We don't push long balls in. We do the work before the ball, all right?
where Simmons finds the space. Look at her to the right-hand side, Stace, and Lauren Moore nowhere to be seen. That would be the poster moment for Dan Ryan coaching the Fever's attack.
Absolutely, a feed from the circle edge, a really strong, clear hold from Janelle Fowler, keeping her defender out, easy access to the post.
So the orange had a moment and then the green stepped up. There's your last 10 at the bottom. 3 minutes to play out. Interesting to hear Joe Harton make the comment, we just go about our business even if they take the twos. You get the feeling that's what Fever would have been saying. Let's just go about our business even if the Giants take the twos. I love it.
Exactly right. It's a psychological battle out there when you're playing against a team who are able to put 2-point shots up, but a really interesting moment there between the Giants. I'm not at all sure what you might call, so nothing was probably the right bet, as Courtney Bruce there has the presence of mind to see that ball swinging across the circle. There's a real main course atmosphere for me about the super shot in this game. The minute 1 to 10 of the on-train, we're really getting to see what both teams are made of.
Oh, Harton keeps it in play. It was terrific rebounding work, but the ball rolls to Ariang and the Fever go flying through court. They're stalled. Simmons comes through, and she's taken a really hectic knock to the face in the back of play. You can see her there just to the left of screen walking in. Sasha Glasgow in the meantime got no idea what's going on, just says, I'm going to drop another Suncorp super shot.
And that is what Julie Fitzgerald was alluding to. When you lose a possession, the ability of the opposition team to score and to punish you on the scoreboard has an impact.
Simmons, I think, has taken a poke to the eye. You can see the eye's quite red and watering. And again, she's wiping it with her dress. It's okay. There she is. Let's see if it affects the feed. Oh, she has to go backwards. She can't see forwards anymore.
Goal attack obstruction.
Minute 30 to play. 7 the difference. Fever. G. Teague Neal is giving Lauren Moore every possible chance.
Yeah, a feed at distance there and really not enough out of the way of the defender, but Janelle Fowler.
Harton, the quick fake and then the confidence. Joe Harton, another Suncorp super shot dropping. Scoreline back to 6 and a minute on the clock. Oh, what I'm interested, I think Harton's going nicely here. Does she stay on? Amy Parmenter, the contest in the air. Harton, does she stay on? We'll talk that at half-time. Good moment here for the Giants. A chance they could get 2 in a row. Price to Dwyer. Big long ball into the pocket, finds the strength of Price. Backwards. Bruce out hunting. Quick hands, the 1-2. Dwyer in perfect range. And a beautiful finish from Sophie Dwyer.
So we see here on that Harvey Norman replay, Amy Parmenter up and in the contest and able to pick up the spoils.
So to take the scoreline right back, 7 seconds on the clock. They go again, Sophie Dwyer. Somehow the ball lands to the hands of the West Coast Fever. Maybe a small get out of jail moment. But they do win the quarter, the West Coast Fever, fighting back strongly through the hand of Sasha Glasgow. 18-17 that quarter and a 37-33 scoreline at half-time. Jo Harton walks off. She's been great so far for her side, leading as all good captains do. Let's get down, though, to a play that's given us just a little more than others. Dylan McPherson.
You stole my joke, Sue. I'm doing the Moore puns today. I am here with Lauren Moore. Lauren, one of the toughest jobs in netball, and Janelle Fowler. You are having a stellar first half. 2 intersects from you. What's the secret?
Well, I just got to try and get off and jump as high as I can, really. No, the girls at the front are doing a really nice job confusing space and just trying to get that ball to be a little bit a bit smaller for me. So, yeah, really good team defence. Hopefully we can continue that into the next half and give some more ball supply down to our attackers.
And you are right in this contest. We know that you can't play finals in season 2023, but there's still a lot to play for today. You guys are finding some great energy. What's the message going to be from Julie at half-time?
Oh, I think just to stick at it and know that we're good enough to not only beat this team, but to beat the girls who are in the finals and just finish off as strong as we can. Still got a lot to play for, our fans, our clubs, our family, everyone. So hopefully, yeah, we can take the win today.
Well, play for everyone in the second half. Best of luck.
Thanks, Dill. Bye.
Yeah, doing some terrific stuff out on court is Lauren Moore in the first 30 minutes. So the West Coast Fever leading by 4. We're about to get into our halftime show up next. But folks, this is a game that has had me intrigued absolutely for this round 13. It will be on Monday. It is the derby between the Melbourne Vixens and the Collingwood Magpies, crosstown rivals. And as we know, no Magpies moving forward. So I hope the crowd get up and about and welcome them to the court. But this will be a game for the ages. Lock it in on your Monday right here on Fox Netball. Well, round 13 of Sunday Netball happening here at RAC Arena, and some terrific athleticism unfolding on the court. Of course, the West Coast Fever eyeing off finals and a possible second place on the ladder at the end of this game. But the Giants doing everything they can to keep us guessing. They've been impressive early. We know it's going to be a high-scoring game, and there's plenty of questions that we need to ask before we head in to the second half. Welcome to the halftime game. Guys, has it been the battle you've expected so far? Is this what we were looking for, Dill?
It is, and I would just like to remind everyone that I predicted Giants by 2, and it's looking like that could be close, but absolutely, and they're playing with great energy and intensity, and like Lauren Moore said, they've got so much to play for, their fans, their club. Jamie Lee Price is 150th, and we're seeing that out on court today. Well,
the Fever attack, we've questioned it in the first half. It's done enough to keep them in front, Stace, but ultimately, you get the feeling in the halftime break here, they'll be looking to rectify and come out a little bit better and more clinical in their feed to Fowler.
Absolutely right. I think for me, it's the consistency of what they're executing out there. The feed isn't on point every time, and when there's a 2-on-1 in the circle, the work rate needs to come from outside of the circle, and also the discipline not to feed that as well.
And I think Jamie Lee Price and Amy Parmenter are actually doing quite a good job clogging the top of the circle, not allowing the West Coast Fever to hit circle edge. And as we see here, they're having to go long sidelines, and it's allowing Lauren Moore into the contest. That one of the better feeds of Verity Simmons today.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Ryan, as we mentioned, we'll be having a chat about that, no doubt. Sasha Glasgow, she's worn a fair bit of April Brandley in the first half, but it certainly hasn't shaken her ability to bomb the long ones. Her super shots have been impressive in this first 30.
And what I love about Sasha Glasgow is she shoots from that range in the 10 minutes before, so she gets herself in position, and then when she goes into the super shot period, it's just about playing her normal game. She spent a lot of time as a mop today on the floor, but when she's been upright, she's been absolutely bombing them in, and I think Giants need to be a lot more disciplined in that super shot zone and not give her those free shots and second shots at the post.
Dylan, you are bringing the entertainment today. I'm sure Sasha Glasgow will appreciate being called a mop. Let's move to someone in the Fever in the midcourt who, Stacey, again, you would know this. Verity Simmons plays her best netball when she plays it at speed, and she's been trying to do that today. Probably a little bit wayward at times with the feed, but she's certainly trying to generate that momentum for the West Coast Fever.
Yeah, she is. She's definitely a bringer of the tempo through the middle of the court, and she is in and involved in everything. Her ability to just look in and have that connection with Janelle when it's at its best and early is fantastic. It puts the defenders on the back foot, as we saw in that moment there. And defensively as well, as we see her impact is going to continue to grow throughout this game, but what we do want to see is that consistency from her ability to keep the composure and the execution of the feed for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it took a little knock to the eye, but she looks okay there. Verity Simmons expecting another big 30 after an MVP performance last week. Let's turn our focus now to the Giants and their attack. For me, it's being led by Jo Harton. And again, the big question, I keep asking it, does she come out and play in the third quarter? We're going to have to wait and see. Mid-court feeding her well, but Jo Harton has absolutely been the stalwart.
She has been, and she's keeping Courtney Bruce very occupied at the post, which means we haven't seen Courtney come out for the flyers that we know she's capable of. Probably for me, the person that needs to step up is Maddie Hay. I think we've found her on the sideline a lot today. Normally she's right in the middle, able to get the ball on her left-hand side and really execute those shoulder passes, but she's been tied up by Jess Anstis. When the Giants are in flow, when they're running through the court, they are pretty much impossible to stop. We've called it in commentary, Fever trying to sit in zone-like structures to slow them down, and I think for the Giants, if Jo Harton stays on, they might get her punching out of that box and allow them to open up the court a bit more.
The match summary with the Fever leading by 4 goals. been intriguing to watch the time, the seconds they've been taking to score goals. But when you look at time in possession now, 51 to the Fever and 49 to the Giants.
Yeah, it's absolutely evening out. I think the Giants and the Fever at times are both falling into the traps of each other's game plans, and it's altering what they're doing and affecting their effectiveness. Giants are definitely in and around the game. For me, that shooting accuracy potentially does need to lift a tiny little bit because Fever are executing under the post.
That's the standout stat, isn't it, there? The shooting accuracy is a big difference, and interestingly, it's from Sophie Dwyer, which we don't normally see. So they'll really want to increase that, and maybe that is where Matisse Leatherbarrow comes onto court because we know she is accurate.
All right, well, we've got our Suncorp competition. We want to get you involved in this. Why is netball important to you, and what does the game mean to you? It's brought to you by Suncorp. What we need you to do is submit an entry in 50 words or less, along with a video or an image of you and your club. And you can send that to foxsports.com.au/Suncorp or scan the QR code that you can see just there on the screen. And it is a chance for a family membership to the Suncorp Super Netball Club of your choice in season 2024. Now, here is Ruby's entry, and she loves netball because it makes people have more relationships and friendships. It also brings people together and creates teamwork, ups your confidence in sport, and lets you have so much fun while doing it. She loves her netball. So well done to Ruby. We're going to head to the break, folks. Don't go anywhere because there is a big 30 minutes of netball still to unfold as the West Coast Fever host the Giants right here on Fox Netball. And the Firebirds and the Swifts will be up next. A confident Firebirds taking on the top of the table, the New South Wales Swifts. A big Super Sunday of netball here on Fox Netball. Welcome back to RAC Arena, and the atmosphere certainly getting loud, if not louder in here at halftime, being whipped into a frenzy, the Green Army. And again, we'll bring you the number in the crowd in just a moment, but it is packed to the rafters. 37-33, your halftime score, and a few antics going on between Anstis and Sophie Dwyer. You get the feeling those smiles will dissipate as soon as the whistle goes. So we had a question that we were asking, and that was, would Joe Harton remain on the court? And for Giants fans and for myself at the moment who was begging the question, she still is on the court. Good news, Stacey Francis-Bayman.
Absolutely. Joe's ability, as we see there, a turnover from Sunday Ariang and Giants back on attack. Oh, and another turnover from Alice Teague-Neal as well on that 3-foot mark.
Well, Teague-Neal has been impressive defensively over the last 4 weeks, picking up 5 intercepts, and that's her 6th. We're going to head down to the visitors' head coach in Julie Fitzgerald. Jules, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's in those finals, but it's a big game, and how are you coping in front of this enormous crowd?
Oh, congratulations to West Coast. It's an amazing crowd. I'm just a little bit disappointed with some of the execution. I think we've had chances to be in a better position, but our execution's let us down at times. But I'm pretty proud of the effort.
Julie, you guys are obviously in and around this game. Lauren Moore particularly is having a fantastic time. Talk to us about what it is she's like in that Giants environment and what we're getting to see here on court today.
Lauren's a great team member. She's always up and about and always great to have in the team. And she has that great vertical jump. So when we've got to play against someone like Janelle, that's an advantage to us. Absolutely
right. And talking about another great on court there, Jo Harton, we haven't been able to see her as consistently as we would have liked this season. Is she minute managed at all? Because she's having an incredible influence on the game today.
She's actually had a really good week at training, and I'm hopeful that she can run out the 60 minutes, but we'll see how we go, and she'll always be honest with me if she feels she can't give 100%.
Good on you, Jules. Well within this game. All the very best over here in Perth.
Thank you.
Julie Fitzgerald, head coach of the Giants. Some great insights coming from our coaches throughout the season, exclusively here on Fox Netball. 5 the difference. Good to hear, just mentioning the confidence she has in her play. Oh, Sunday Ariang, well, she goes into the splits as she takes it. Terrific reading of the ball cross court. And then through the middle to Fowler at the other end. Hasn't missed a goal yet.
As we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, excellent anticipation from Sunday Ariang, and real disappointment on Jo Harton's face there that she fell into that trap that was being set by the defenders.
Well, nowhere to go. Playing with the 3-second whistle. Not to be, though. Teague Neal, good cut on Parmenter. Quick 1-2, and then vision from Simmons to move from Glasgow onto Fowler. Clever stuff.
There are multiple options and threats in the circle at one time there from Fever, which we haven't seen too much today.
Dwyer forced out wide. Price there, though. So backwards, you see Fever clogging the middle. Sunday Ariang out hunting. So some real confidence here from the Fever defence. Dwyer. Oh, terrific rebound, Harton. Just mentioning before the confidence Julie having in Joe to say, keep going, good week on the training track. I'll let you know when I'm no good.
Yeah, great first ball contest there from Parmenter, but a really great relationship there between coach and captain, because not many players will be honest if they're limited. You just want to be out there, you're a competitor, but she has full trust and faith in Joe that she's not going to compromise the team's ability to perform.
Simmons, the step on to Glasgow out wide. You get the feeling there's been a fair bit of discussion about how to feed the ball to Fowler in the break, because so far they've taken more out of the equation.
Exactly right. Julie Fitzgerald mentioned that she was disappointed with the errors that Giants had made to not be further ahead in this game, and you can tell that Dan Ryan would have been having that exact same conversation with Fever. How have they not put their foot down and moved further away in the game so far?
Dwyer under pressure to Harton. Harton unable to get up for the rebound, though. And not the miss that she would have wanted, directly under the ring. Oh, gee. Nowhere to go. Simmons has to take the risk to find Teague Neal. They get away with that, but it wasn't pretty, the Fever. But they have come out flying in the third. A 7-3 start. There we say it. We know the West Coast Fever. It's just Answer sits the deck right of screen.
Oh, that exact moment, seesawing up and down, but the 2-on-1 feed into the circle wasn't giving Fever success at the start of the game, and it wasn't in that moment either. So you see here that feed from Verity Simmons, turned over and then turned over again.
Lauren Moore certainly falling out of court. Wasn't much more she could do with the ball in that moment. Glasgow gets it. Just mentioned the Fever haven't been overly great in the second half. Are they trying to shift that equation? Courtney Bruce pleading with the 3 seconds. Gets in amongst the rebound, though, and crumbs to Ariang. Well, the Fever defence are in everything at the moment.
They are, and Fever's, as we just see here, that little short shot from Dwyer and Fever punishing on the rebound. They really have grown throughout the season in their ability to execute on those rebounds, and it puts them in a fantastic position to head towards goal.
Strong take under pressure for Teague Neal. Finds the offload to Fowler, and her first miss. Fever's first miss of the game, though. That's the rebound. So a 10-goal lead with the Fever centre pass. And the big jump and split in the air from Fowler. Well, that is a 10-3 start to the quarter.
Yeah, and surprising potentially for the Giants not to have called a timeout. They are a team that utilises the timeout tactically, because we can see here from the last 10 goals, Fever are dominating in the start of this third quarter. And if you're a Fever fan, it's exactly what they need to be doing to put their foot down in this back half of the season, as we see them out hunting on absolutely everything.
They've struggled to get across this transverse line, the Giants, be it through good defence from the Fever or a patience in their approach. This one under the ring. Harton missing this just a moment ago. Surely she adjusts the technique. Oh, she makes me nervous when she does that. Bork, her and Fowler both do it. Gets there in the end, Joe Harton. 2-on-1 back in the circle, so you can see there Glasgow free. Reset that with Simmons. And there just seems to be plenty of options and plenty of answers in attack at the moment for the Fever.
Yeah, and I think that's credit to the work that's been done at first phase centre pass. Alice Teague Neal is working hard against a 2-on-1, sometimes a 3-on-1 to get through on that first phase, and then they're finding really great speed and access to the circle second phase. Giants responding in the same manner, though, with a goal to Harton there.
So still 10 goals the difference. Let's get down to Dylan McPherson. Dylan, eyes on that matchup we spoke about in the pre-game. How have you seen that unfolding between Teague Neal and Parmenter?
Well, it's interesting. I probably would have said Amy Parmenter had the rub of Alice Teague Neal in the first half, but like Stacey just highlighted, we've really seen an increase in work rate from Alice Teague Neal, particularly on that centre pass. They're trying to set a wall, the Giants, and Alice is working her way through nicely, and Fever's attack end has just opened up in this third quarter. We discussed in commentary, they've obviously had a look at the feed to Janelle Fowler, but I think they've also discussed getting a little bit more depth on second phase because they're finding it easy to circle edge, and then the feed is a lot simpler once they get there.
Nothing like a half-time break to sort out what needs to be sorted. For the moment, it's the Fever that are showing some real movement in their game approach. Teague Neal, delayed, goes back to the line. There's better height, better execution into the space. Again, taking more out of the equation.
Absolutely, and work done by Janelle Fowler there to trap Lauren Moore on her back. Lauren not able to use her footwork and her elevation to impact that feed.
Great placement into the pocket from Harton to Price. And again, the two inaugural players at the club. Gets the finish, Sophie Dwyer. So just 6 minutes to play out in this third quarter. Of course, we've still got another quarter to go, but then there's this big game coming up next. Your Sunday is all sorted, folks, as the Firebirds host the Swifts. Great battle, Firebirds off a win, Swifts top of the table. This will be a doozy. I know those two clubs have had some extraordinary history in grand finals. 11 goals now, the difference. Giants, great threading of the ball, finds Maddie Hay. Bruce cleanly approached that moment.
Contact centre.
Yeah, great choice defensively there by Courtney Bruce to put the pressure on, but not to contest. Staying in the play, able to put presence and hands over the shot, and also get a tip on that rebound.
So Dwyer misses. Bruce a hand. This has been a little bit, hasn't it, out of the back end of defence. Both ends, throwing ball away to the opposition, getting it back. And right on the Power 5 siren, a chance to take the two, but it doesn't fall. So the West Coast Fever into attack, leading by 11. Glasgow hasn't missed a super shot moment yet. There she is. Courtney Bruce leading our Nissan net points at 84. They don't lie, she's been terrific this game. And they score. So you can hear the crowd in the background, folks. They're getting in amongst this game. Let me bring you the new record for the season. The crowd here today, last week it was 10,700. They've done it again, the West Coast Fever. 11,013 people in here in this stadium at RAC Arena. You heard Julie Fitzgerald say well done to the West Coast Fever. Extraordinary stuff. The Green Army out in force, 11,013.
Giants playing the ball around smartly here, mindful that they want to put up a two-point shot given the deficit of the score at the minute, but as we see here in the subs box, ready to go and pull the trigger on some two-point shots of her own. Matisse Leatherbarrow enters the game.
Well, this will be interesting because we know she has nothing short of confidence just to get ball and shoot. Usually does it within the first second. Try and take a duck for cover.
Looking a bit nervous there, Sue.
I was. Very impressive in the third quarter last week. Fell a bit short in the fourth against the Swifts. But she knows the job at hand. The scoreline, 11 the difference. Glasgow, good placement of ball. Fowler thinks about it. They'll take the one. And now we get a look at this super shot attacking threat of Matisse Leatherbarrow. I feel like the weight of the world goes on her shoulders. There she is in the middle. Hay. Nice little cut to the top by Price. That's the moment. quick to go in her first shot and her first look, and does exactly what her coach needs her to do. Matisse Leatherborough sinks the super shot. And the scoreline back to 10. Simmons connects with Fowler, too far away. Glasgow finds nice space and a lovely finish. So it's a great answer, the West Coast Fever, from one end to the other, keeping that scoreline at bay from the Giants.
Glasgow able to enter that circle a little bit too easily in that moment for me. Not under pressure beforehand. Took and was able to take a second before putting that shot up.
Ball will come back as Teafield stands out of play. All eyes on Leatherbarrow. We know Dwyer can shoot them. She'll look for her teammate. Can't find her, so sinks the one. I don't think she's been looking as confident this game, Sophie Dwyer.
I do think there's been Janelle Fowler on the move there. I do think there has been a bit more pressure on Sophie Dwyer this season, and also a bit more of a load that she's had to carry in that attacking unit when there has been an absence of Jo Harton.
Fowler playing around with it. Simmons under pressure. Ariang finds the crumbs. Oh, gee. Making a bit of a mess, wasn't it? The West Coast Fever.
Absolutely, and some feedback being given immediately by Janelle Fowler before the shot even went up as to where that feed was placed.
Dwyer sitting at 9 from 13. No offence, though. She has 4 from 6 in the super shot. So doing what's required. Just hasn't looked as confident with her movement to ball. A minute to play out in the third. Here's the lady we've been speaking about. She's been good from this range. Doesn't want to go over Ariang, so a small victory there for the West Coast Fever with the Giants taking the one. Simmons backwards, then finds Glasgow forwards. Oh, gee, contest at the top. Price from Simmons. Who's winning that battle, Price or Verity Simmons?
That's an excellent question, and if you'd have asked me in the first half, I would have said Price. I think, unfortunately, just in this quarter, she's taken her foot off the gas a little bit. Simmons has come out firing, as have the West Coast Fever, 21 to 13 so far.
60 missing net points to Price, 87.5 to Verity Simmons, and Ariang increasing her missing net points with a deflection. 17 seconds on the clock, so plenty of time to score here. They'll need to take a 2. They want to try and keep within range. Rocks back Sophie Dwyer and drops an absolutely necessary 2-pointer for the Giants. And cleverly now they will force the hand of a centre pass, the West Coast Fever. 2 seconds, and a held ball will be the call. So when we come back after the break, it will be the centre pass of the Giants. The West Coast Fever winning that quarter, though, and they go in with a 10-goal lead. Been in that position before, haven't they? What happened in the last 15? Don't go anywhere. Suncorp Super Netball right here on Fox Netball.
With your swings, right, they're right onto the swings now. If it's not let go straight away, if we pause and wait, they're right onto it. So we might have to have much more of a triangle than a swing. So let's try and get that not too deep in the pocket, top of the circle, and the swing go there, all right?
Origin Energy quarter-time huddle, both coaches giving their last messages as the two sides head out for the final quarter here. 10 goals is the difference in the scoreline. In the old metrics, you might have pulled this game over, but let me tell you, folks, it is far from it. The West Coast Fever are the worst performing fourth quarter team in the league, and they have some work to do. As for the Giants, they can come home like a steam train, and the last time they met, they did that with a 21-11 final quarter. So this 10 goals means absolutely nothing. But in order for them to mean business, the Giants have got to get this 1-point part of the game right, don't they, Stace?
Absolutely right. For me, where the Giants fell off in that third quarter was that first 5 minutes. West Coast Fever came out of that half-time break and steamrolled them a little bit and left them with too much to do. So expect to see a ferocious start from the Giants in this first 5 to close that gap and then put them in contention to pull the trigger on those super shots.
Matisse Leatherbarrow remains on the court for the Giants. Jo Harton watching on, but being told to be ready.
That is contact with attack.
So we get underway.
Contact with on the arm.
A new challenge for Captain Courtney Bruce, who's been in terrific form in this game from the opening whistle. And there's the 2. The man on the left eyeing off the second spot on the ladder if they get the win. And for Coach Julie Fitzgerald, it's about finishing the season with some real confidence.
That's it.
Fowler, just the one miss.
Obstruction wing attack.
Branley wants to get moving. Nice swing cross court to Dwyer. Long ball. So Hay finding some space. Lovely backwards pass in to Leatherbarrow. So that's exactly what the Giants need to do to tick away at that one. Fowler, the connection from Glasgow. So the crowd's starting to get amongst it. We mentioned 11,013. That sits in the top 20 biggest netball crowds ever. That's amazing. Like ever, anywhere in the world, ever.
It is. It's absolutely incredible and complete testament to the fans in WA, and I think also the work that's been done here to create a game day atmosphere and also success on the court where people want to get on board and support.
9 the difference. No one racing to get this ball anytime soon. Having to do a little bit of extra work off the bench. And we'll be keeping our eyes on the way this game finishes and the effect that it can have on the ladder. As nice hands from Hay, gets a little deflection, lands with the fever though. Oh, and the offensive contact against Fowler. So a little win from Lauren Moore. There's the live ladder. So a win for the Fever, and they haven't got across the line yet. Puts them into second position.
Very coy Janelle Fowler there, standing out of play.
Well, Lauren Moore can have some real impact in this final quarter. She went quiet in the third when the Fever found a way to position the ball. But if she can work Fowler here, she can give Giants some real confidence, and we know what they can do in the last 5.
Absolutely, and Janelle started this quarter with a really strong, clear hold to the team. So that was a massive win for Lauren Moore then, being able to pull an offensive contact.
Price trying to find some space. She's under all sorts of pressure from the Fever defence in her 150th game. But Leatherbarrow getting the confidence. Came on and bombed that super shot immediately. Late from Anstis. Dwyer goes to shooter. It's covered by the Fever into the swing of the pocket and opens the baseline, but the little touch on the hand from Bruce spoils the shot. And the West Coast Fever trying to find some real speed through court. They'll be delayed here though.
Obstruction wing defence.
Shame for Price, and I thought the pressure was good. Just doesn't need to obstruct in that moment, Stace.
Yeah, the defensive pressure of the Giants is absolutely up. They're delaying Fever's play, but you're right, you have to be clean, stay in play and make those smart choices in the moment.
So turnover moment for the Fever off the Giants centre pass. Glasgow, vision straight down. Good work by Moore though. Look where she's got Fowler. Simmons off the circle edge, so pressure to get to the circle edge here for the Fever. Glasgow sets Teague Nielder. Draws the contact on Price. Going to take any moment of victory, Lauren Moore. Now, moving Janelle Fowler to a new country, I'll call that just outside the circle, is a major win. Goal for goal in this fourth. So no inroads. Ball from Maddie Hay. Gee, took a risk and it paid off.
We had fantastic view of that from the commentators' bench here.
I don't know that I would have let that go. It was ambitious. That's the skill and the cleverness of Maddie Hay, the wing attack for the Giants.
Absolutely. Who will need to, I think, to have a bit more of an influence over the game in this final quarter if Giants are to get over the line.
Simmons will reset the penalty. Steps across in front of Parmenter. Takes her out of the equation on her way to the circle edge. Glasgow. Beautiful confidence at the post from Sasha Glasgow. And yet to miss a goal. 4 super shots to her name and a couple in the ones. Been doing an enormous amount of work feeding Fowler. Bruce covers the lead from Leatherbarrow. Dwyer. Well, Bruce was going to get a ball anytime soon. They were overly patient, the Giants, giving the Fever defence a real look at it. Simmons off the 1 foot, flying through court.
Giants looking a little bit shell-shocked in that moment. They had their patience, they were working towards goal, but Fever's intent on defence was incredibly high. Courtney Bruce just waiting for that ball almost.
Moore this time, moving Fowler out, but gets the contact, so almost impossible for April Brandley.
As we see a change for the Giants in the back of shot there. Amy Parmenter going to the bench.
Amy Sliger coming on, so hasn't played for a couple of weeks. Round 11 was the last time she got some minutes on the court in at centre. Gee, that's a big call. Parmenter to the bench. She's your ball winner. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right. And I actually hate the phrase nothing to lose, but at this point in time, great rebound there by Courtney Bruce. Unfortunately, lands out of court. For me, a change, a personnel change, or Giant just mixing something could just be that thing that splits the game apart.
Sophie Dwyer has to step back over the pressure of the Fever defence. They've certainly got into the heads of the Giant shooters. And the captain, Courtney Bruce, is having a day at the office. There she is again, the work through court in attack. Ariang to the line. Teague Neal thought about Fowler, saw the 2-on-1, so they patiently worked their way. And the West Coast Fever starting to look like the reigning premiers they were last year. There's Parmenter. My gut says she's not there for long.
Yeah, perhaps it's a great opportunity to come off to receive some coaching feedback, go back into the game and have impact. The Giants collectively starting to give away a few more penalties, so perhaps just time for her to sit on the bench and the umpire forget about her to re-enter and then have impact later on in the game.
So the West Coast Fever roll in another one and take their score out to 67. And they've really put their foot down in this final quarter, pushing out the lead. They've won every quarter to date. No, it forces the hands of the Giants. A HCF tactical timeout to them. Was goal number 700 for the season. She just continues to move mountains, that lady. Janelle Fowler.
I'm talking of
moving mountains.
Yeah, moving mountains or immovable objects. Courtney Bruce is in and around everything. For me, that feed was a bit forced, but Bruce there and ready to pick up any poor decisions of the Giants.
Leatherbarrow just warming herself up for when those moments are going to be worth two, and they're going to need them. Matilda McDonald rolling on. And there's Jamie Lee Price. Well, she was the one with the words saying, let's just fight. That's exactly what they need. April Brandley goes to the bench. McDonald, we know, can hunt ball with some real aggression. There she is. Giants just trying to find their way. They get to Haig. Great ball. Quick feed in over the head of Bruce.
Beautiful use of the triangle then to open up the angles in the circle for the attackers, as opposed to that long pocket-to-pocket feed, which we sometimes see from the Giants.
Leatherbarra steadies again, and that one a better one off the fake. So 2 in a row for the Giants. I tell you what, they stay within range here, giving themselves a real chance to come home. They will know what the Fever do in the last 5 minutes historically this season.
Exactly right, and the chances are Giants just need to get the ball into the circle, because they've got 2 incredibly strong super shot threats out there on court right now.
So almost goal for goal. 10-8 has been the scoreline in this last quarter. Nissa net points wise, Courtney Bruce leading at 106, but Maddie Hay creeping her way up, getting a fair bit of ball in that pocket, finding the feeds. Dwyer steadies, can't find the middle, and the tip and the tap, and it goes to the Fever. It'll be an important moment, because they can use the clock here to find their way right into the power 5. And then their centre pass. Ariang forced to go sideways. Simmons down the line, there's the siren. Teague Neal. She under pressure into the pocket, Sliger.
Outside the circle. Outside the circle.
So outside the circle, they call it contact. Sasha Glasgow to push the Fever right out in front here. Take them to 70, and it is a way off ball for Glasgow, almost to the point she screamed it as soon as it left her hand.
Not happy with that one at all, ruining her stats.
Well, you could hear her scream, that's off. So a moment for the Giants. Hay. Look at the speed from Hay. Second efforts, third efforts.
Yeah, really coming into game in this fourth quarter.
Confidence to find Leatherbarra over the top of Bruce. Important for the Giants. The rebound, one-handed to Leatherbarra. Oh, to me, she needed to take the 2, Stace.
She did, and you could tell that she was thinking about that as well, but I think the pressure of the moment and the lack of movement and availability of her players outside the circle meant she just went for the 1.
Simmons quickly with the vision down court to find Fowler. And they keep the scoreboard ticking over the West Coast Fever with 3:40 on the clock.
I do want to see Giants be aggressive and attack this moment, though. We saw a very similar scoreline unfold in the game yesterday. Al Cardwell took Adelaide on her back in the 2-point shot and scored very accurately to post.
Dwyer gives them a chance with a Suncorp super shot, drops the scoreline to 10. 3 to play. Anstis. Good pressure from the Giants, forced backwards. Simmons. Well, you can see that delay that the Giants are causing, the hesitation coming into the Fever. Not from Glasgow, though. Teague Neal. Again, I want to highlight the importance of placement of pass. That's the moment.
As we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, that pinpoint feed to Glasgow.
Sliger to the line. Maddie Hay trying to lead her side in this final quarter. It's the Fevers to lose, as we say. Courtney Bruce goes for the block.
Desperate for one of those to land in her favour today.
Well, the clock continues to tick along, so the Fever won't have a problem with that. Leatherbarra, look how beautiful the technique of that is. Smooth as you like from Matisse Leatherbarra.
Completely unfazed in those moments, has such a huge level of confidence for a player young in her journey.
Fowler in unfamiliar territory. So much so, Laura Moore gets a look at it. Just looks uncomfortable out there, doesn't she? So a terrific touch from Moore, giving them a chance here. 9 the difference with 1:40. It's going to be tough. They just got to go direct and bomb it. Price, just like that. Turn, take the shot, Dwyer.
Unfortunate there, Courtney Bruce doing the most to put the pressure over the shot. She's back in it again.
Well, under the pressure, it doesn't fall, and the rebound goes to the Fever.
as so many of them have done today, unfortunately, for the Giants.
Well, they're trailing in terms of the final quarter score, 12-13. But it's been a better second half performance for the West Coast Fever. A minute 10 to play out on the clock. They are eyeing off second place on the ladder and pushing the Thunderbirds down a notch. Fowler. 54 seconds to play, and the West Coast Fever Green Army think they've got this because they have just got to their feet. Have a listen to that in the background. Leatherbarra, again, can't get there, and it's been Bruce, Captain Bruce she's been today. Bruce Almighty. Simmons to Fowler. Takes the easy road with the one. And the West Coast Fever continue to push the scoreline upwards. Glasgow, they're entertaining the Green Army. 11,013 of them as Janelle Fowler wants a slice of the pie. It's not to be. Answers with a final intercept. 3 seconds on the clock. The penalty will be set, but it won't beat the siren. And the West Coast Fever take victory off the back of Captain Bruce and march their way to second on the ladder. The Green Army, they have been entertained. Tough day for the Giants. They gave it their everything. Did you get the feeling with the smile on the face of Dan Ryan that that was an important win, Stace?
Absolutely. The Fever have been wanting to take steps forward in terms of their consistency and specifically their second half performance. Today they've won all 4 quarters, and probably what's most important for them, they've won the second half and scraped through with a 1-goal victory in that 4th quarter also.
Well, not easy to win 4 quarters in Suncorp Super Netball, as you say, just a 1-goal lead in that final quarter, 14-13. But they haven't had many 4-quarter wins, so they'll take that with a 72-61 lead. And I don't think it's very difficult to pick the player of the match today. I won't spoil it. Let's head straight down to Dylan McPherson.
Bruce Almighty was what Sue Gordian said. Courtney, a phenomenal game from you today. 3 intercepts, 10 deflections. A real shift for Fever from some losses earlier in the year. Must be feeling good now.
Yeah, feeling really good. We wanted to come out. We knew the 4th quarter was our hardest quarter. So just getting out there and being able to keep our foot on the pedal.
And they knew my next question because the crowd is nuts. How crazy is this crowd at ROC Arena? It is an absolute fortress for you guys.
It's incredible. You know, we're so privileged to play in front of these people. And you know what? I'm a bit biased, but I definitely think it's the best arena and the best crowd in the country.
And that win takes you to second on the ladder. It bumps Thunderbirds down to third. That double chance in finals is so important. How big is that win for you today?
Yeah, huge. We knew that we had a door and an opportunity that had opened after last night. And now we want that second chance. We want to be able to play the Sus. We want to be able to have another final here if we need be.
Well, enjoy your trip to Tasmania. Pack your warm things. Congratulations on a great game today.
Thanks, Steele. Thanks.
Absolutely, Bruce Almighty. A terrific game from her today as the West Coast Fever get across the line, should I say, 72-61. Let's take a look at the match summary. And at halftime, we identified the possession, Stacey Francis-Bayman, and look how it just tightened up, 50-50. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the Giants looked like they were playing at a slow pace, but they had enough of the ball.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Their given possession just unfortunately wasn't executed for me today. They went to post, they took 20 super shot attempts, which is incredibly high, but unfortunately they weren't dropping. And I think in the second half of the game where they found difficulty was getting hands on ball, not enough gains.
Sorry, Stace, there's the ladder. The Fever move to second spot. There's still plenty of interest in that ladder, and we'll continue to watch it as round 13 unfolds. But the West Coast Fever today, 72-61 victory.